Hi. No, this video is not sponsored by NordVPN, even though they offered to. We'll get into that. Anyway, if you haven't heard, it happened like in the last, well, the revelations came out in the last week that NordVPN, one of the biggest VPNs out there, was actually hacked. And it actually happened a year and a half ago, back in March 2018, in a server in Finland. And they didn't realize for about 7 months that their server was hacked and the private keys were actually compromised. They didn't tell anyone about this at the time because they claim now that they've had like they've got over 5,000 servers and they needed time to check them all and all sorts of stuff like that. And they've got a video here which I'll link in, and we won't play the whole thing. I'll just play a little bit in trying to spin doctor, downplay what's going on here. So I'm not sure who this poor schmuck is they got to do this. They're trying to cover this up. But the big deal about this and why it's relevant to this channel, as I said, NordVPN are one of the countless companies who contact influencers like me, grown. They contact us. I get probably about half a dozen a week, and I turn them all down as a matter of course. I've been getting these things since I started this gig almost a decade ago, and I've turned down every single sponsorship. So we'll talk briefly about the hack, and then I'll show you some examples of some of these promotion sponsorship deals that I actually get, and why I don't take them, and where I make my money from. But I've done a video on where I make my money from before, linked in down below, but we'll briefly go through it again. Let's go. So the big deal about this is that so many YouTubers have been shilling or promoting NordVPN and other VPNs. You'll see it integrated into videos, and we'll go into what kind of things that these companies want, but why it's a big deal. And a lot of YouTubers are now having to come out and they're having to, say, oh, look, either canceling their association with them or whatever. So what actually happened is they found a breach or a hack, a vulnerability in a third-party data center server, because a company like NordVPN, they don't own data centers all around the world, thousands of them. They can't do that, so they just rent server space, rent a rack of computers, which then they configure themselves to provide the VPN type services. So the hack happened in 2018. Apparently the private keys were stolen, and those private keys expired like 7 months later or something, and only then did they realize that the server was hacked. And since that time, they still hadn't told anyone until some white hat hacker group sort of brought this to public light. It is exposed on a couple of major websites, and they had to finally admit it. Try and downplay everything in this video, but it was potentially much worse. But I'll just play you this one little bit here because it says a lot.
Even though the intruder could not use this vulnerability to access user credentials, we took this incident extremely seriously. Among other means, we now encrypt the hard disk of each new server that we build, and we're significantly improving the security of our infrastructure, and
we now encrypt the hard drive of every single server we use. So they didn't even encrypt their hard drives. This is supposed to be one of the world's biggest and best and most secure VPNs. The server provider left a management tool on there, which then, of course, that's like leaving your keys in your front door, and of course you can just get in. We won't go into the details because I'm not, I'm not hip on all that sort of stuff. But as I said, is when you get a big enough channel like mine, you just get flooded with these commercial and sponsorship opportunities. And here it is, NordVPN. Hi, I represent NordVPN. They actually have their own employees that do this. Often, as I'll show in a minute, you get contacted by a talent agency or some other marketing group that works for the company. But no, they actually have people who try and go out and find influencers and YouTubers like myself to shill their products. So I don't know how many of those people they got. They must have a lot, because you see like tons of YouTubers doing this, and they get paid well, and we'll get into how much you might typically get paid. We're proud to have the best ratings, blah, blah, blah. Well, not anymore. Oh, they're just spamming me because they haven't said like hello Dave or hi Dave or something. They haven't personalized it, but they do specifically target influencers of or YouTubers with a certain channel size. Would you be interested? No. What are your requirements for making a sponsored video? Do not hesitate, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I turned down NordVPN like I turned down every single other sponsorship opportunity. Let's take a look at some other offers you might recognize from other YouTubers that you follow. Paid promotion, Viking, War of Clans. My name is Blah, part of Hype Factory agency team. Here we go. Let's look up Hype Factory, innovative influencer marketing agency. More than just a list of bloggers. Bullshit. Wow. Let's go down to wow. In hype we trust. Oh. Give me a break. When the rational meets the creative, 100,000 creators they reckon they've got on the books. I've done a video on how many YouTubers there are with over 100,000 subscribers. So I think it was like 180,000 or something, was it? YouTube's big. Wank, 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 wank. Marketing wank, more marketing wank. Anyway, the company who did this game, they hire companies like this to find influencers. I'm sure they take a very pretty penny as well. Then they often just link to other YouTube influencers. They often link in a brief. How much do you usually charge? We'll get into that. They're after stats, so you might have to send them a copy of screenshots of your stats and your demographics and things like that to see what audience you're reaching. So if we have a look at their brief, welcome to Viking, War of Clans, blah, blah, blah. Integrate your video assets. Pick one or mix them. Download the game before you start. Play it. Integration instructions. Integration, if you don't know, is how you bake it in or integrate it into your video at the editing stage, as opposed to pop-up ads you'll see on YouTube. Companies can advertise on my channel. They can specifically target my channel using the Google AdWords program. They can target the pop-up ads, sidebar ads, and even pre-roll ads if they're enabled and things like that. And I have no say over that. I think, no, I can actually block certain companies if, you know, some religious company or something started advertising on my videos. I can go, oh, I don't like that. I'll block them. But yeah, that's like playing whack-a-mole. So generally, I don't, as a creator, I don't have a say of what ads pop up beside my channel, really, unless somebody notifies me of something I wouldn't know what's popping up beside my videos. Must start at least 45 seconds after the beginning of the video because they know that there's a roll-off in people's attention spans in video, so they want to capture you in the first 45 seconds. That's part of the deal. Then they want you to install tracking links and things like that so that they can get all this data back of where it's come from, how effective it is, and then put tracking cookies on your computer or whatever it is. We strongly recommend that you, the influencer, appear on camera for some of the talking points. Be enthusiastic, because we're paying you. Please be enthusiastic. Remember, it's contagious and would result in your viewers giving the game a chance and contributing to a successful campaign. Well, we wouldn't want an unsuccessful campaign now, would we? Use the video original sound and music. Important to mention this exact phrase at the end of every integration. Help support my channel. Help support my channel by downloading blah, 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 because I am so excited about this and you can get free credits down below and I really like this game and I play it a lot. Thank you. Anyway, they even tell you like what sort of text to put into your video and things like that. Anyway, so that's typical of a sponsored integrated spot. So that was a fairly old one. Here's a new one from Hype Factory. They just keep spamming me no matter, you know, like you can tell them to go away and they just won't take you off the books. Like paid promotion for Shadow War of Shadow Legends or some rubbish, I don't know. And then they link in, you know, it's like, oh, look, Phil DeFranco, he's promoting them. Wow, I could be just like Philly D. I can be a huge YouTuber if I only take the money to promote this ridiculous game or whatever. So yeah, they'll often show other influencers and stuff like that and link to them to try and get you in. And then if you do specific types of videos, which in my case, I've done a few on like crypto hardware wallets, for example. I'm now a crypto influencer and I get targeted a lot by these crypto companies who want me, in this case, it's an affiliate program. It's not just a paid program. Sometimes they'll pay you as well as offering an affiliate program. You know, I can earn 50% of the trading commissions if I promote this hardware wallet and things like that. Nah, no thanks. I also turn down all those affiliate opportunities as well because I'll get them from PCB companies, for example. Oh, promote our PCB service and we'll give you a cut. I'll give you a link and you can get like a 50% cut or whatever in all PCBs manufactured and things like that. The only affiliate stuff that I do is my own affiliate program, say on my website here, where I've got AliExpress affiliate program, by the way. So if you buy anything through the link on my website, on my forum for AliExpress, then I will get a cut of that. So I'm not promoting any particular product or anything like that. I'm simply just anything you buy on AliExpress. So they're the only affiliate programs that I do. That and Amazon as well. Now, a lot of these promotions are very on target. They will specifically target my channel because they've got a product which would really appeal to my audience. This one, for example, I've never heard of them, but they've got, you know, learning project box or something, hands-on electronics projects, online courses and stuff like that. And they want to know if I want to do like a promotional thing, or maybe there might even be an affiliate thing, I'm not sure. But anyway, no, it's the same thing. I don't do paid promotions at all, so I simply turn them down, as well targeted as they are. And I showed this one on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter to get stuff like this. I post these things all the time. This was their third email from openinfluence.com, another company paid by a big energy company, because obviously the company, they won't name them, but obviously they're in, you can read it here, they're in trouble for some reason. They need influencers to help promote and improve their public image for some reason. So you might be able to guess the company if you're in the US. And deliverables, one YouTube video that should be shared on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. The program will include travel to the headquarters in mid-November to early December. So often, in this case, they want you to actually, they'll pay. In this case, they probably would have paid for me to fly to the US, wherever it is, and put me up in a hotel and film stuff on location, but then they want the rights to use my image and my words in any way they seem fit. And I can blog it as well, to use an influencer like me as a figurehead to try and, you know, convince people that they're not a bad company. So yeah, please let us know if you have worked with the following competitors in the past: Shell, BP, Exxon, and Valero. Well, everyone knows that I'm paid for by big batteries, so yeah, I don't think they'd give me the gig anyway, but thanks for asking, sort of spamming me. So as I said, I've never ever taken a sponsorship opportunity like this. Why? Well, because it's actually good money, which we'll get into. Why? Well, the reason is that I don't need to. I don't need to do this to make a living. And I've done a video on how much money I make on YouTube, that is, and where my income sources come from. And of course, I do accept ads on my website. All these ads you see on my website and my forum, for example, all these ones, except for this one, which is an affiliate one, all these ones are paid for directly by the companies because they want to reach my audience. And I think that's quite fair and reasonable, and really nobody has any problem with this. But a lot of people do have problems with video integration, and I don't like the fact that a lot of my video is evergreen content, which means it's there, you know, it's useful and there forever. And if you bake in or integrate an ad into that video, it stays there forever. And I really don't like that, even if you get paid handsomely for it. So maybe if all my advertisers pulled out of my websites, for example, and my forums, and people stopped buying my products on the store and things like that, then to stay alive, to feed my kids, I might have to take some of these sponsorship opportunities. And that's why I don't blame YouTubers for taking these, because that's really their only main source of income. But from day one, I've diversified my income sources so that it means I've never had to take these opportunities. Sure, you see, and I think I probably mentioned it in this video as well, you see me review test gear and stuff like that. Yes, some of the companies do send me this test gear for free, and yes, they do let me keep it often, but often they're just on permanent loan. And the reason I keep that stuff is so that I can do comparison reviews with other products, you know, in the shootouts and things like that, or use them in a particular, I might need a particular bit of kit for a particular video a couple of years down the track or something like that. But getting free gear, while it's nice, it doesn't put food on the table. So how much do these creators get paid to do these in-video sponsorships and things like that? Well, as you can probably guess, it varies greatly depending on who you are, the size of your audience, the reach, the target of the product. So something like a VPN, for example, that has broad appeal to almost everyone watching, things like that. But say an oscilloscope manufacturer, a test gear manufacturer, who might come to me, and they often do, and say, hey, would you do a sponsored video? Can we pay to actually feature in one of your videos? The answer is no, of course, but they're specifically targeting me and my particular audience. And generally speaking, you will charge, as a creator, you will charge more for that to a targeted product than you would to, say, a VPN. But you might have a fixed rate, for example, and generally for something, a channel of my size, for example, you might get 50 to 100,000 views per video. You typically might charge upwards of $50 to $100 per CPM, or per 1,000 views, for example. Basically, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't get out of bed for under $5,000. Seriously, that's for one video. So, a lot of your small creators out there, are people thinking about becoming creators, for example. That's a crap ton of money, right? $5,000 for one video. So you can see why they do it. If you've got a targeted thing, for example, like an oscilloscope manufacturer wants to come in and specifically you to feature their oscilloscope and do demos with it and do projects with it and stuff like that, you'd be looking at 5 digits. You'd be looking at upwards of $10,000. If you're doing it for a couple of $100, you've either got a really small channel or you're selling yourself really short. Because these companies have a ton of money, and someone like NordVPN, for example, has spent millions and millions of dollars to creators, to arguably more than they spent on their security, that's for sure, to pay to promote their products and services. There's a ton of money out there. So generally speaking, like $5,000 is like kind of a bit of a minimum benchmark. If these companies are approaching you, they already know that your channel's large enough that they're interested in. $5,000 is nothing. So yes, whilst that is good money, it's not something that I have to take, and I value my credibility, for example, because even though these companies on my website, let's take Keysight, for example, they send me scopes and gear for free and something like that. They pay to advertise on my website and my forum. You'll see their banner at the top. Even companies that pay to advertise on my website, I have exposed their products when they do something wrong. Like their original, this goes way back to when I was in the garage. On the launch day, the oscilloscope blows up, the magic smoke, and I sat there, I can remember, I sat there for a second going, geez, this is not a good look for him, is it? Should I actually show this? Scope blowing up, and thought for a second, I went, it's hilarious. Yeah, I'm going to show it. So that's just my attitude. As I said, don't blame these YouTubers for taking these sponsorship opportunities, because it's the only way that they can stay afloat and do this as a full-time living. Generally, it's pretty much one of their only income sources apart from merch and donations via Patreon or Subscribestar or something like that. So they wouldn't be able to do it and create that content that you like without taking these sponsorship deals. So even products that I really love and use personally, I still wouldn't accept a paid sponsorship spot inside a video. It's just something that I just blanket rule, turn them all down. Doesn't matter. I'm sure there's a number. Offer me $1 million for a one-off paid promotional video, I'll probably do it. So anyway, there you go. I hope you found that interesting insight into sponsorships and things like that. There you go. So let us know in the comments down below what you think about these paid sponsorship opportunities with your favorite creator. Have you stopped watching them because they decided to suddenly start shilling for companies and things like that? Or do you have no problem with it? Down in the comments. Catch you next. Oh yeah, give it a thumbs up and all that, because I need engagement, because, well, I don't take any sponsorship opportunities, so I really, I need to get my views up. And if you want to know how much I make on YouTube, I don't think it's changed. It hasn't changed since I did this video. Yeah, 2016? Wow. Yeah, 3 years ago. My income really hasn't changed from them. It's been pretty stagnant because, I don't know, I'm not a big influencer, I guess. Catch you next time.